Hey beautiful people, this video is about execution framework. I want to talk to you about execution frameworks because one, I think execution, as you probably know by now, is the secret weapon of most organizations if they really can begin to understand it and how to be able to leverage it and build it. And secondly, because I have found frameworks super valuable and useful, and I want to be able to introduce you to some and offer you some and give you writing on some and talk about some in this video. So my name is Jennifer Kenny. I'm the best-selling author of The Innovation Mindset and award-winning author of 100% Capacity. And what I do is I help organizations build their innovation capacity, build their execution capacity, and be able to deliver on highly successful projects in very complex technical and scientific environments. And so what I've discovered over the years is that every team has an execution system of sorts. Many of them just don't actually know about it, or they're not observing it in a way that allows them to be able to be strategic about it, design it, and understand how it relates to their team's capacity. And I want to help you be able to learn how to design your execution framework with intent and impact. So I think of execution as the infrastructure that you don't see. So many organizations have an ops group who will do the operating of the company, the sort of overall management of the company. But what we fail to recognize is that there is a capacity that most human beings maybe have not built or are not aware of, and it's the capacity to actually be able to execute together, to be able to play well together, to be able to innovate well together, to be able to add value together. And we haven't really been taught how to do that, and so we haven't really seen it as a capacity that we want to build inside companies, and we don't know really how to design it, how to measure it, how to think about building it. And so lots of times what we'll do when we're looking at transformation, or we're looking at execution, or we're looking at strategy implementation, what we'll do is we will do lots of communications around those initiatives, and we will expect that once we have explained to people what it is we're looking to do and why we're doing it and what's purpose behind it and what goals we're looking to achieve, that they will just go ahead and do their magic, and that all of a sudden we will be aligned and amazing things will happen. And I think anyone who's ever been part of a change, a transformational change, a digital change, a strategy implementation knows that that is not actually the case. So let's talk about the infrastructure that you don't see inside organizations. So I tend to think of this as an iceberg. The infrastructure that you do see, which is the org structure, the project management structures, the financial reporting structures, the operational delivery structures. When we look at those, the supply chains, right? So when we look at those, what we do is we go, that's the org. That's what we think about as being the org. The meetings that we have within our group, the annual meetings and the cyclical quarterly meetings that we have and the reporting that we do, we think of that as being how stuff gets done inside our organization. But it's really how stuff gets orchestrated within our organization, how stuff actually gets done in our organization, happens through the commitments that people make to each other as individuals and teams across the whole org. So now think about the bottom 90% of the iceberg. That's your execution layer. That's where the execution happens for work to actually get done. And yet very few organizations really have an understanding of how to be able to design for that and leverage that and build that as a capacity within their people. We tackle that in multiple different ways, and what we do is we need to build leadership capacity. We need to be able to communicate change. We want to be able to put in different metrics. We need to be able to put in different technologies to support how people do their work. And all those things are great and wonderful, but they're not looking at that 90% as being a layer of execution that allows us to really be able to design how it is that we're going to work effectively together to be able to deliver on our strategies and our projects and our other initiatives. So let's talk a little bit about coordination systems. So many times people will mix up coordination and communication. Not a good idea. And what they'll do is they'll think because they communicate something that people are going to automatically go ahead and coordinate the execution of it. A much more effective way I have found to be able to think about execution is it has to do with human beings doing the dance of doing work together, doing the dance of adding value together, doing the dance of co-inventing, creating new value, co-creating together. And human beings are doing that all of the time, but for the most part, they're doing it in an environment that doesn't acknowledge or recognize the value of that. What we do is we tend to acknowledge and recognize the value of just the doing, just the execution, just the delivery. And when we fail to recognize the importance of the design, of the co-creation, of the co-invention, of the understanding of standards and value, of the understanding of what it takes to actually deliver real value and satisfaction to a customer, when we fail to really pay attention to that in the practices of the day-to-day work of our people, we're missing out on a huge amount of value that we can derive from designing and developing the execution layer. So when you start thinking about the idea of an execution layer, we're also looking at important things like role clarity and also promise architecture. Now, role clarity, lots of people will do basic charts and that's all fine and good. I haven't found them to be that incredibly useful, and I've used them for multiple years on multiple different projects. But what we're looking at in here is not the idea of identifying the stakeholders and identifying the directly responsible individuals. Sometimes that's useful for the context of a project, really trying to understand, okay, who are the people who are going to add value for. But what I found to be much more effective is a really deep understanding of who is the person who is going to say that they are satisfied when this whole project or aspects of this project are successful. Now, what's happened because we work in this fragmented way of thinking about work and we drive work down to individual tasks is we then also tend to roll work up and go, well, one person can't declare satisfaction on that. We need to have 15 people declaring satisfaction on that. And what I would say to that is that means that you haven't done a good job of defining what the conditions for the customer being satisfied actually are. We miss out on the opportunity to be able to engage with customers at a level of understanding of value that is immediately relevant for them. So when we start thinking in terms of networks of value and networks of commitment, what we do is we begin to start seeing in our mind's eye how those interrelate to each other, how those connect together, where value gets rolled up and broken down inside orgs to where people can actually see themselves in the context of delivering value 5 or 6 layers up above what they're currently doing. Executional excellence and executional frameworks, as we start thinking about them, and we start thinking about them in terms of coordination, not communication, we start thinking about them in terms of human beings actually delivering on commitments to each other, human beings co-inventing and co-creating, really encourage you to start looking at it both the micro and the macro level, which you'll be able to start seeing people making promises to each other individually in the organization and people making promises to each other that contain a myriad of other promises below them. Once you start doing that, you'll start seeing, and I think about it like Russian dolls, you know, those little dolls that would pack inside each other. Our commitments are like that. We have major commitments that the company is making as a whole, and then as we unpack them, there are hundreds of other ones all around those. How do we begin to see those? How do we begin to design for those? How do we begin to help people understand how to work in those? How do we help them to see their corner of the world in terms of their value and what they're bringing and who their customers are and how they're adding value? Once we start doing that, we start positioning people to be able to be part of designing execution locally for themselves and globally in terms of how it impacts other departments and cross-functional collaborations. So as you think about your executional framework, I have a offer for you that I think will help you. It's a free white paper that talks about execution by design and talks about this idea of the iceberg and the execution frameworks. It is available on my website, www.jenniferkenny.com/execution, and it's also available in the comments below. There's a link to it down there. As you start thinking about executional frameworks and how you design and deliver on execution, I'd love to hear how it goes for you. Let me know what you think about the paper. Let me know if this series of videos helps you, and let me know how it goes, because I firmly believe that executional capacity is something that is a strategic asset for many companies and something that we have not really found a solution to building. And I think that it is something whose time has come, and we are in a position now to be able to understand it, build it, design for it, and leverage it. Take care, and I wish you the best of luck.